matchup. Or that's gonna be 5 then. Okay, so Shelty is gonna be 3, 4, 5 set. Shelty is gonna be set right now.
Mm.
And his opponent, SuperAfim, is gonna be Thor. So set versus Thor, and it's gonna be played on Ghost Lake.
Oh.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is one of those maps I don't have much experience. One of those matchups in maps I don't have much experience on. I had a small foray into set where I played him and realized that he is way beyond my skill level. So I have no idea how what this matchup actually results in. If it's a double gold mine Ghost Lake, it probably favors the set. If it's a one gold mine Ghost Lake, it probably favors Thor. I'm going with that analysis.
Okay, so let's wait for the spawn. Spurs are apparently taking a bit of a pause in here. Probably, maybe even SuperAfim looking for the map. Ghost Lake. Ghost Lake is the third home map for SuperAfim. And, well. Still plenty of games left for us.
What's the current score? It's like 3-1, right?
3-1 for SuperAfim, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, next map is gonna be fun. I'm so glad that you're gonna see that.
Oh, don't tell me it's King of the Hill.
No.
Oh,
I'm just gonna, it's gonna be standard, but it's gonna be a nice matchup. It's gonna be rather nice matchup.
Okay. I had some pretty rubbish people picking rubbish maps against me. I was not happy.
Yeah, that was against Grand Monster, right? He was picking the Acropolis and what was it, Valley of Kings?
Yeah. To be fair, that was incredibly smart. I didn't realize how strong Ra was on Acropolis. He's very good.
Yeah, he definitely is, and I know it from RTS because we have said it some seasons ago, or we actually maybe not, maybe they didn't said it. It was chosen by some clan, and they went triple Ra. So of course Shifting Sands with a ton of scarabs and siege towers on your TC, so you could have imagined it was about 9-minute game. It wasn't really long. So it was definitely nice.
Yeah, talking about this map, I would veto it right now as Shelty, just because of that gold line. I think I would consider that a map screw. No tower, forward, no way to defend it. It's not going to be conducive to a good game.
Well, he's thinking that maybe right now he has discovered the gold on the right side, that it could be defensible. Potentially could, he can wall it off. There are enough trees in there. Unfortunately, the TCs are on the other side of the map. Luckily, at least the front does capture one of the gold mines in there. So overall, actually without seeing the map of the opponent, you are right that for the Egyptian it's not that awesome, but it's not that tragic, I think.
I think it's it might be okay because Thor is not a very strong aggressive rush, more of a raid civilization. So he may be okay.
But I especially like, or rather like for Shelty, it is like for SuperAfim, is the position of the goals, because when you look at it, SuperAfim's having all goals pretty far. And he's gonna have to somehow move to the left, and that means that he's gonna move away from the TCs. So he's gonna have to make a choice, as opposed to Shelty, who can basically much easier vault goals on the right, which will also secure him a trade route. So I kinda thinking that overall the tactical options are slightly better for Shelty. And it might get a bit tricky for SuperAfim, a bit more tricky than he was actually hoping for, I'm thinking. Especially since through the hunt, he's a bit forced into the right side. So he's maybe not even gonna be having all that easier time getting on the left, on the gold. So maybe there's gonna be opportunity for him to make mistakes and Shelty to actually make use of them.
Yeah, definitely. You see Shelty coming out to this forward food really early, which means he's going to be able to hunt the majority of it before he gets kicked off, which is really nice. If SuperAfim goes for a 430 Ursa push, most of those caribou will be devoured. That's a good choice right there. And he's going for the top one as well, so he's going to be completely fine in terms of the hunt that he's managed to get.
Yeah, it seems to be going alright for him in the food department. What I've noticed is that actually Shelty is having the relic in front of him is for the better towers. So that's actually pretty huge if he can use them. Better 30% tower ranged attack and 10% for melee attack, so that's a huge difference. So if he can get enough gold, he can just basically place towers and win by them.
Yep, the old towers to win game strategy. It's a beautiful one, tried and true. We're looking, and we're probably going to see a very fast advance from Shelty. He's got 2 villages on gold. He hasn't built a monument. He's chucking up that temple really fast, so he's going for maybe a 445, it looks like.
Well, he's gonna be trying to shift send, of course, some hunters. I'm kinda expecting that he's gonna be hoping for the ox cart as well, which will help him quite significantly.
We have to just make sure he understands how shifting sands works on Nilla. It's a little bit different from the Titans. So on Nilla, if you shift sands on top of your town center, it won't come through because there's no room for it. You have to shift sands on an area where nothing is, and that's the way that it comes through.
Yeah, that already happened in this tournament. I don't exactly remember to whom. It might have been Shelty, because I think that Shelty was actually one of the few players to use Set. Not many players actually used him, so he might remember.
Well, hopefully he doesn't make that mistake.
Hopefully not. That would be pretty sad. Yeah.
There is a perfect spot for that shifting sands right behind the town center to get 2 towers worth of shooting in, regardless of the way that he'll walk out. So he should be good.
Yeah, he should be. So hopefully he doesn't fall for it. He probably right now knows there was a hyena that was killed, that Shelty needs to basically cast the vision on the right, and he's gonna be taking plenty of them right now. Of course, SuperAfim already threw Freya, which is, well, alrightish time at 440. Not really anything bad, as he's already walling himself off on the left quite nicely as well. Trying to protect both the hunt and the gold. Unfortunately, the priest is gonna be stealing a few animals in there, apparently. Maybe even some of the caribous.
Yeah, he's looking for the polar bear. The aggressive animals with high attack and high health are the ones you're looking for with Set. So that kind of late.
And he did catch 3 villages and ox cart. Yeah,
that's really strong. That's a real big pain for the Thor. He's looking to move over onto the Orok, and he's going to have to produce another ox cart before much longer.
Well, that was quite successful, it seems like. And he's gonna be tapping the last poor guy in there. Oh man.
The old building placement trick. It's a beautiful thing.
Definitely nicely executed. And he's gonna be killing, or rather he's gonna be losing the priest. It's slightly unfortunate for Shelty, but of course it's not really making up for 3 villages and an ox cart. That's quite a big right now problem for SuperAfim, even though he does have plenty of food still on the left. It also means that he's probably not going to be continuing on the right with the berries. So he basically right now abandoning the right side of the map and going to be concentrating on the gold, which is gonna be curious to see how actually Shelty responds. If he's gonna be coming for the TCs on the left at least a bit marginally, they could be clashing very soon in the battle.
Well, looks like we're going to be seeing at least some sort of classical fight from Shelty. He's throwing up. He's going for a very hard classical fight, throwing up 3 barracks.
Wow!
I actually really like this style against Thor with actually any Egyptian. You get a bunch of spearmen, and your economy is primarily food and gold, and then you can just jump straight to the mythic age as soon as you hit pop cap. Basically, that's the idea. Was it the tornado? I can't remember what the name is. Thor? Hathor? I don't know.
Well, right now SuperAfim is gonna be fairly surprised. He probably didn't expect the spearman that soon. So right now he's gonna be coming into the villages, but yeah, Shelty is gonna lose a few willies in there, it seems like. He a bit underestimated the situation.
If he micros these villages well, he can actually kill all the raiding cavalry with those villages without losing any. Villages are actually quite resilient, and raiding cavalries are really weak. But there you go. Looks like he's going to be able to pick off all those raiding cavalry without losing any villages.
Yeah, and,
Oh, nice.
forest fire on straggler, yes,
That
good job.
forest fire is terrible.
It actually deals more damage than we would be expecting, because the units were just hugging the tree, unfortunately. But still, that's an epic one.
It's what we like to call cute.
Oh well, that didn't go well. That's just, this game is not one of the best for SuperAfim. Started badly, continuing badly, and probably gonna be ending badly, it seems like. As the army is just like triple, or almost even 4 times more for Shelty right about now. Even the throwing axemen are just not gonna do anything against all those spearmen.
Yep, definitely. Oh, Shelty running past a stray dwarf?
Yeah, I was just looking at him, what was he doing there? Coming for the gold and outside, it's kinda weird. What is he actually doing? Oh, he's actually coming for the hunt, and it has been decided by the Pathfinder that it's actually shorter route to go all around at the top than through the bottom. Well, that's unfortunate. But of course, with the throwing axeman already being in decent numbers right now, he will have to incorporate at least a bit of slingers or whatnot if he wants to survive, because otherwise he's just gonna get shredded pretty soon. But he is aiming for the food, which will be working quite alright, and that might be yet another problem for SuperAfim, because the goats, he does have a few of them, but they are running out. He does have at least a few berries still left, but yeah, the resources are not ideal.
This is going to be a story of whether Shelty can find a second gold mine. We were talking about whether SuperAfim can find a second gold mine. We were talking about whether Shelty would be, but Shelty is going to be on the aggression with this classical fight, and there's only really one gold mine for SuperAfim, so this is going to be pretty brutal, really.
Yeah, definitely will be. Right now he caught even the villagers running away from the hunt. Killed... Did he actually kill all of them? It seems that he actually did.
All of them. He killed 3, and he managed to send a dwarf and a gatherer. He managed to save SuperAfim managed to save 2. But that's brutal. Every time you lose a villager as Norse, it's a heavy hit.
Well, right now he's even incorporating finally the slingers, so even the throwing axemen are not gonna be that effective. So this game seems to be going very well for Shelty, even though SuperAfim is winning by about 200 points on score. I'm not exactly certain where he's actually getting that from.
Oh, I think it's just coming down to, well, maybe economic upgrades. Yeah, no hand axe. No hand axe for for Shelty, of course, because he's making primarily spearmen. But yeah, he might want to think about clearing that second gate out. If he hits heroic age at 11 minutes and 30 seconds, like it looks like he's aiming to do, then he's going to have ancestors for the second gold fight, which will be
incredibly good. That's going to be quite alright for him. Yeah, the Hercer so far not enough in numbers, definitely. Well, the whole army is pretty small right now for SuperAfim, especially considering that Shelty's already having medium spearmen, so they are very much ready for even the throwing axemen to take them on a bit. Pharaoh is joining in through fun, plenty of slingers already in there, so this is looking pretty bad for SuperAfim, unless he can get some good help from something. But what could it be? Like flaming weapons would be helping, of course. If he can get them fast enough. He already does at the armory, I've seen somewhere at the top.
We can see farms going up for SuperAfim. This means that he's going to be stuck in the classical age for a long time. Unfortunately, and that's probably going to mean that Shelty can just simply grab the entire map with the town centers, because there's no real safe town center for SuperAfim to defend. So it could be 5 town centers to 1 with no gold mine.
So
I spoke way too soon. We got
Frost.
Wow.
Really well, right now it's going to be up to him what to do with this. I kinda don't really agree with fighting units when you are in Frost. I kinda thinking you should be trying to do something else, like, I don't know, maybe grab a TC in the moment, because you need the units as well a bit later. Oh, that's gonna be a Migdol coming up, or a Siegeworks. I was kinda hoping for a Migdol next to gold right now by Shelty, but he's going to be using the opportunity that actually SuperAfim is wasting all his time on killing the few units in there. And that might be helping Shelty quite a bit, because he's gonna be having still plenty army left. He's having medium slingers even. And probably going to be following up with the ancestors you'll be expecting soon.
Oh no, that's not good. He had to delete his wall. His dwarves were stuck.
Yeah.
Let's see if Shelty can win this fight now.
Well, with the ancestors he should. Especially since SuperAfim is not really microing all that, or rather microing. He was basically caught off guard, because the RCs were in the attack in the front. And he basically cast ancestors on the throwing axemen, so...
Yeah. We get the heavy spearmen coming in as well. Really nice upgrade to give them some more beef. Some villagers coming into the fray. This is actually really kind of well played by SuperAfim. I didn't think he'd win that fight. He managed to come out on top because of the... Yeah.
And right now,
with the Frost Giant.
Definitely is a bit of a shame that Shelty didn't really build the Migdol. He maybe didn't have enough gold, not entirely certain. But still, if he had the Migdol right next to the gold in here, he definitely could have fallen back a bit and helped himself. But yeah, well, that didn't really happen. And he probably will have to switch pretty soon into something, but... Is he just gonna be able to do it with normal barracks units against right now Heroic Age Thor? Not all that certain.
Well, he's so teched into spearmen with the heavy spearmen and the medium slingers, he might not want to stop making them, you know, like they're pretty strong. I don't think SuperAfim should be really fighting him at the moment. He needs to regroup and replenish his army so that he can protect the gold line. The thing with the barracks units of Set is you can just spam them so quick. But it looks like he's got so many Valkyrie.
Yeah, he's having just basically with units. And no counters from the opponent so far.
Valkyrie, sorry, yeah. Priest finally coming out. It's one of the big mistakes that I think Shelty's made is he didn't put any priest into his army in the early game. So that's why the Frost Giant did so much work.
Yeah, definitely is. Well, right now, exactly as you said, SuperAfim doesn't have really enough push right about now to do anything significant to Shelty. And luckily for Shelty, he's basically allowed to get the gold on the right side without any kind of opposition. So if he can keep SuperAfim busy here on the left, it might in the long run even work for him quite alright, because he's at the 2 TCs for quite some time already. Gonna be getting some good economy from that. And if he can move forward onto one on the left in some reasonable time, it's gonna be getting a whole lot better, because of course SuperAfim right now is in a huge problem as the North, because he's still under pressure. He needs the units and he cannot really spare them to go build the TC, so that's a problem for him. He's gonna be falling back in economy.
We can see some raids from SuperAfim coming up to the right side, so he's taking this time with his 20 HP Valkyrie and 91 HP Valkyrie to pick off some villages. You look at that army and you run scared, but it looks like Shelty is a man of many knives, and he's going to be able to pick up those no problems.
Yeah, they were gonna have that, all of the units in there, so he basically decided to correctly go for it. But he could be placing at least a tower in there, 1 or 2, and pick up the relic, of course. That's something that he needs to pick up sooner rather than later, as he's trying to push through the walls. And yeah, well, that's not a good spot, looking at all the army. But luckily he has enough reach right about now, so the myth units, which SuperAfim a bit overdid right about now, thinking that it would be working, are gonna be a liability for him.
I thought, well, it's kind of good that that he's caught Shelty outright there. Definitely not a smart move having a slinger composition against raiding cavalry, to say the least.
Most definitely. I'm really right now thinking that he should be trying to get up at least 1 Migdol. He's even on the gold on the left, so well, he's right now all over the place, Shelty. So potentially gonna be having to pay attention to quite a lot of spots on the map. Now is it looking with some upgrades? Still having just pickaxe for Shelty, not the hand axe is still missing for the whole game. Apparently for the opponent, how's it looking there?
Oh, SuperAfim coming in for this town center now. Maybe even finding the gold. I don't know why Shelty needs that much gold. He must be like in the thousands for gold at the moment. Like
Shelty actually he is at about 100. He's actually out of gold altogether. Whereas
really?
SuperAfim is having decent about 500. He's having actually plenty.
Oh, he's only got pickaxe. That's why. You don't need to put more villages on gold, you just need to get your upgrades.
Well, Shelty is gonna lose the villies because he's unfortunately using them basically as spearmen without spears. So it's not really something to work for him. But he... Oh, the Pharaoh right now, that... Yeah, he should be escaping right now. Because without the Pharaoh, he cannot really take down enough of the mythical units fast, I'm thinking. Oh, and right now, especially the raiding cavalry from the top. Yeah, goodbye, army.
Yeah, this has actually been amazingly played by SuperAfim. Like, he played it pretty much perfectly. It's kind of surprising considering he's a Egyptian player, but I guess when you play the game for as much as he has, you can play any god to a high level.
Yeah, he probably could have even used basically the experience with the Aegis, because since he has seen what Shelty is doing as a strat, then he could basically accommodate and do the best against it, which definitely seems to be working for him. He's gonna be taking the TC on the left, and already some raiders come into the right here again to basically hang around the gold because it's running out. Just 2000 left, and he's gonna be moving somewhere forward in there. So right now the map control is basically gone for Shelty, and that will also mean basically the gold gone as well.
Well, yeah, Shelty just doesn't have the army. He's only got 3 barracks, and he really doesn't have enough food. He doesn't have, well, he does have plow, but he doesn't have enough villages on farms. And his village is now getting picked off the gold mine. Basically, SuperAfim just needs to walk over there with all his army, and he wins the game.
Oh, he's gonna be really fighting the giant. Oh, that's brave.
Yeah. He's also going. It looks like Shelty was thinking about stealing that town center, but
yeah,
alas, decided he didn't have the gold.
Seems so, but right now he's gonna be at least able to defend the goal for a bit longer. But I kind of think it should allow SuperAfim to actually maybe even advance into the next age, because right now with the second TC, he is in a bit of an interim. What he's gonna do next, not entirely certain, but... how's it looking? Does he have some market somewhere? So far not. He seems to be moving a few throwing X-Men on the right, so apparently third TC is the next in line for him. Shelty is, well, so far just... I'm really thinking he should be really thinking about Migdol a whole lot more. He needs to place it somewhere. He's right now apparently coming for the TC to try and secure the part of the map so that potentially he can even somehow produce some mercenaries to help him in some bad fights. But with all the army coming to the right, his own as well. So, yeah, well, unfortunately he's gonna be caught exactly at the right moment when he was building the TC as the army is coming for SuperAfim, but SuperAfim so far not noticing.
I think Shelty will be able to get that one up. You can actually, cheeky exploit, you can actually see when people are building town centers. If you've got them in the fog of war, you can select it and you can see what HP it's on. It doesn't work on the Titans, but on Nilla it does.
So we are in, and that was actually a pretty nice tip. Definitely would be thinking that Shelty could have used it, not exactly sure that he's knowing it. But, of course, right now with all the Frost Giants in there, 4 Priests and Pharaoh, that could be enough to actually get rid of it and force them to retreat, especially with some extra mercenaries that might be coming up. Right now, and on the flank of Valkyrie and horses from the back.
It's a very good fight for Shelty. He really kind of needs to micro that town center onto units that aren't myth units. But it won't matter too much. He's going to clean that fight up pretty well.
Yep, in the end it worked for him. It looked that it could be a bit more tricky than it actually was in the end. SuperAfim is right now at 3 TCs as well, and he's already walling off on the left. Apparently there's gonna be coming siege works up, because he, of course, Shelty will want to somehow try to take the TC. And it's not a bad idea overall, because if he can force SuperAfim to split the army, that would be really quite a good job for him. And look
unlike Egyptian, you can't spam mercenaries, so a side siege workshop with side attacks is very strong, because you have to send a significant amount of units and population over to defend against it.
What it's also looking like is that SuperAfim might be interested in Mythic. He has already dropped the market, whereas Shelty didn't. So Shelty is going to be staying with Heroic for a bit longer. Right now looking around with the army, and is he actually gonna... Oh yeah, he's coming for the gold, because he's even sending some units from the left.
It's definitely a win condition still, even though the
Yeah.
market's up. It's like if you can stop SuperAfim from gathering gold, you can only trade for so long, and then you run out of other resources.
Yeah. Unfortunately, SuperAfim kinda underestimated the wall in. He didn't wall at the bottom next to a hill. So potentially there's a way through, as apparently Scorpion Man with a few slingers are coming through it right now. So SuperAfim without gold, yeah, well, good luck. That game might be just a bit more interesting than actually he was hoping for. He might have thought that actually through the push next to Shelty it might have been over. But Shelty just didn't tap out, definitely nice, and he's still gathering plenty of gold from the top gold mines. Right now they are not really being harassed at all, and even though he's gonna lose some units in here, it's still well worth it, because if he can SuperAfim limit his gold income, that's exactly as you say, probably the win condition right about now for Shelty, rather than anything else.
I mean, even if he doesn't, I think Shelty's actually, he's got the initiative at the moment, even though his economy is kind of behind. He can definitely catch up. Norse's late game is not strong, unless you have a certain, unless you can set up basically the death ball, I like to call it, Ballast of Fire Giants Towers. Unless you can set that up, Egyptian just walks all over you, so this may be a difficult situation for him to be in.
This is gonna be an interesting fight, because the Scorpion Men are pretty strong, but there are at least a few Jarls. So Shelty definitely will have to pick them off, otherwise it's not gonna be that much of a fight.
Unfortunately some of those spearmen just weren't attacking, and Shelty's positioning them was actually quite poor.
Yeah, Shelty is right now rather killing the villages, it seems like. He's basically sacrificing the army to kill the wills by the Scorpion Man. As on the right, there is also kind of funny side build attempted by SuperAfim, who is basically trying to build long houses next to the TC and next to the market. So that's finally out for Shelty. But, oh, finally Migdol is coming up. So that's exactly what's needed. For a bit of help in here, for some defense for Shelty, who is already a fortified TC also. And, oh, where did that come from, those siege towers on the right?
Yeah.
That's gonna help.
Yep, the gathering point into the siege workshop, so you can't tell how many he's built. He was planning on using that as a push into the fortified town center, which would have possibly caught SuperAfim by surprise, but instead has had to use it on the side build. So a nice little win there for SuperAfim.
Yeah, apparently SuperAfim is not going to be giving up, as some longhouses are still being founded in there. Not exactly sure how long he could be, rather he could be staying with them. Oh well, that was a clutch save of the Migdol through the portable ram and such. And Horus is up. So where is it?
I'm surprised I'm definitely surprised that Shelty's managed to find his way to the Mythic Age before SuperAfim in this game.
Yeah, definitely so. SuperAfim though having very nice upgrades. He's having bronze shields and bronze mail and copper weapons, whereas opponents of course not gonna be having anything. Tornado being cast on the front TC.
Oh, this is a dangerous move.
Yes,
Tornado has a mind of its own, and it might just decide to not take down the town center. It just might decide.
I think it won't. It might not even have enough damage in it, because wait for it. That was close. But the siege towers are gonna do it.
Siege towers will probably, or maybe not. You got the frost giant. The frost giant will freeze one, and the rest will kill the other two. So you might be able to.
Yeah, it's gonna be enough, especially with the catapult in there. Okay, so that's gonna be extra TCs in here, and
it's making this game really interesting.
And the one villager on the left next to gold miners from Shelty. What was he actually hoping to do? I don't know, but he's gonna die definitely. He's gonna die, and of course right now this is stopping the trade for SuperAfim. That's why the TC is more important than anything else, because there was a trade going in there, as he has switched it from going next to the TC to somewhere else. Right now they are basically just camping next to the top TC, and that will help right now Shelty quite significantly. The gold on the left is still kinda alive-ish. It still does have something in it,
I wonder if SuperAfim was advancing to the Mythic Age through that town center. That's potentially could have been really huge. Like, I definitely expected to see that, but
I'm right now looking
like
into the resources. I'm not entirely certain, because these lines are not really all that reliable, but not certain.
He's definitely advancing to the Mythic Age at this point. And he's probably through Balder, to be fair, because if he can definitely cut off cut off the gold with a 100 pop Balder or 100 civilian unit Balder. What is he sitting on?
Well,
He's
he has
sitting on 90
enough
villages.
upgrades on the unit, so potentially the Ragnarok would be pretty strong. Right now, especially since Shelty is not even able to defend this position. Aha, because he's attacking on the left. He's trying to take down the next TC in line. Oh, well, that's a good idea. So basically that was just a decoy to take the one on the right. And since there's absolutely no army on the left, he's gonna be trying to take it down, which will work, but of course at the same time, he's gonna be having a bit harder time with the east side. He could be, or rather he will need to produce some extra mercenaries and whatnot. And of course he's radiant in there at the top on the gold, because SuperAfim did finish with some extra long houses, and it's gonna be quite annoying at this point of the game for him.
Yeah, and actually that's all the gold mines for Shelty. So
yep. And he doesn't have any kind of trade yet, so he should be hurrying up with setting it up, really. He should be placing the markets at the top side of the map, of course, going for the TC at the bottom. So definitely playing a very dangerous game, Shelty here. Very dangerous game
definitely. Indeed. He can though take that 2,500 gold mine that SuperAfim is gathering from at the moment if he works fast enough.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to work fast enough though, because so far he's at least trying to push through the left. But on the right side, it's all kinds of fishy. He's having just 45 TC, he doesn't have even masons. The TC is not exactly sturdy. Well, it's not bad, but still, all the units right now hacking at it are pretty strong. And he's having...
I definitely do like this from Shelty. That town center is not a very great one to be defending, and the trade of the town center for the closer one means that he's going to be able to set up a pretty strong trade route across the map onto his far town center instead of the short one he had before. So it's not all bad if he does lose this town center. It's not the end of the game by any stretch of the imagination.
That's actually a pretty good point, that he might be just making a switch from the right side to the left side, because the right side doesn't really catch him anything all that much interesting. It's not really that great. But if he can really, as you say, control the left, it will be making the trade route a bit safer. And it's a bit closer also to the main base, which is not really protected by SuperAfim, because of course he's right now moving into the right quite strongly. And the army coming from the left is gonna be a bit of a surprise, it seems like. So is it gonna result? Yeah, army coming back. Pew throwing Axeman, just attempting to build actually another DC that might be even stopped by some kind of radiant or whatnot by Shelty, who is finally setting up the market, or rather setting up the market at the top. So yeah, that's finally about time.
But he really needs to think about walls and defending that, because those ults are going to be very painful. This is very good play by a SuperAfim. Really staying well in this game.
Much more importantly, Mythic is coming up for SuperAfim, so if it's going to be Balder, which it probably will be, because he's still having pretty strong economy, plenty of villages, and also pretty good upgrades for himself. He's having still the same, but they're much better. I'm
definitely thinking Balder is the correct choice. You want to get the Fire Giants, not necessarily use Ragnarok at this point, because I don't think that, well, I mean, it might win him, but I don't think it's guaranteed. Whereas Fire Giants are going to bolster his army enough to kill... Oh, okay, he has no gold. Alright, Shelty's had enough.
And SuperAfim is right now going to be blocking it through the longhouse. That's a bit unfortunate, because he was looking like he could be quite close to actually winning, but he probably realized that the Ragnarok is going to be coming up pretty soon as well, and there would be absolutely no defense for him. He didn't have gold for the towers to prepare for it, so that would be a game-winning god power quite easily. Bit of a shame for Shelty. It was a very interesting game. Definitely was reaching for it here and there. But yeah, well, it's gonna be 4-1 for SuperAfim, and just one game away from actually winning the match and the finals and the whole tournament.
Yeah, it's getting pretty close. I'm kind of shocked. I think Shelty had every chance to win this game, and I just think that he just had to stick his army on that on that bottom gold line, instead of moving up to try and kill the towers and the base of SuperAfim. He got stuck on that wall. Could have killed that as well. Just the little things that you need to be aware of in order to win a game with the classical fight of Egyptian. Didn't really play to his win condition. And had he done that, he would have won the game at 12 minutes instead of a 30-minute loss. But that being said, SuperAfim played exceptionally well as Thor, don't you think?
Yeah, I definitely did. Definitely would have expected a bit. I don't know that he would be even at a disadvantage with it, because as you said, he's an Egyptian main, and Shelty has been proven that he's pretty good with sets. So we'd be really expecting, especially on a map like Ghost Lake, that is usually slightly better for Egyptian, or rather, it's not bad for Egyptians, but it has to be said that happens when it's actually the 2 gold variant. That's a whole different beast, but still, looking for example at the economy, SuperAfim was having so much better eco. You can see 3.5, about 12,000 resources more.
Yeah,
That's a bit surprising,
the
to be
Norse.
honest.
Yeah, well, that's the Norse economy over set economy. For some reason, it just seems that set can't keep up with Thor at all. And that mostly just comes down to Thor not having to spend as much resources on armory upgrades, and he can spend the extra resources on economic upgrades and gets ahead that way. Whereas Set doesn't have any real economic bonuses besides the fact that his Migdols are 100 gold cheaper, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't do a whole lot. So that kind of almost explains the economic difference.
Alright, so that was game number 5, right? GG.